Hi, I'm Shane Jones. Making headlines tonight. A 21-gun salute and a red carpet welcome for Ghana's president. Ghana to provide Barbados with nurses as the two countries seek to strengthen relations. The port commissions a new gantry crane enabling more vessels to be offloaded. And coming up in sports, the Windies lose ground in the World Cup standings as they fall to England.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC News Night, starting now.
Leading the news at 7. History was made today, just after this evening, as Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo became the first foreign dignitary to address both houses of Parliament in Barbados. The special joint sitting took place in the Senate chamber and was attended by members of both houses, along with specially invited guests that included members of the local Pan-African community. In his address, President Addo not only extended an open invitation to Barbadians and others in the diaspora to visit Ghana, but he also acknowledged the country's role in the transatlantic slave trade.
Of you who would want to come and stay, we say you're most welcome. Africa is your home, and Ghana would be happy to serve as the bridge between the diaspora and the African continent. But we're really not asking you to make another series of traumatic journeys. Many of you have made successful homes in the Caribbean islands, in the Americas. Brazil is your home, Guyana is your home, Cuba is your home, Barbados is your home. We invite you to come and visit Ghana in this year of return.
The president also saluted the exploits of Barbadians and Caribbean people in global sports and entertainment like Sir Garfield Sobers, Rihanna, Bob Marley, Desmond Haynes, and others.
We in Ghana have also had our trials, and we are the first to admit that we have not made as much progress as we ought to have done by now after 62 years of independence. But we can say that with the stability that has come from 26 years of constitutional rule, our institutions are becoming more reliable, and we are building an economy that will stand the test of time. Happy to tell you that Ghana is open for business. There are business opportunities for those who would partner Ghanaians in a fast-growing economy. We're particularly keen to open our country and spread industries across the length and breadth of the country.
During the afternoon, President Nana Akufo-Addo and Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley and other officials held bilateral talks at Ilaro Court. Both leaders have taken major steps to solidify the long-standing relationship between the two countries. The Ghanaian president is in Barbados for a 2-day visit as part of a larger tour of the Caribbean. Our Lisa Broom covered the Ilaro Court leg of the day's activities and joins us now. Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening, Shane. But before we get into the meat of this afternoon's meetings, let's start by putting this historic visit into perspective. Now, the Republic of Ghana, with a population of about 30 million people, is one of the countries in West Africa. But it also has an intrinsic link with Barbados and the Caribbean. In fact, one of the first things President Addo noted is that the first 20 slaves taken from West Africa 400 years ago came from Ghana, signaling the start of the transatlantic slave trade. Now, for her part, Prime Minister Motley said the visit was about two nations rediscovering each other and their common heritage. Now, it is on this basis that Barbadian and Ghanaian leaders held bilateral meetings and agreed to cooperate in education, transport, renewable energy, and health. With regard to health, Prime Minister Motley says Barbados has a shortage of 400 nurses, which Ghana has agreed to help fill.
Agreed that immediately we will pursue the exchange of nurses and to secure nurses initially, but also agree to joint education of nurses as we go forward in order to stabilize our healthcare sector in Barbados. We have also agreed that the opportunities that have already been built upon by Cave Hill, University of the West Indies campus at Cave Hill, for the receipt of the first cohort of medical students from the 1st of August this year is something that we would wish to see expand, largely because those students will spend their first 3 years here, I believe, before they go back to Ghana in order to finish the MBBS in Ghana with the clinicals.
So, Lisa, I have to ask about travel. We always hear that if you travel directly east of Barbados, the next landmass will be Africa. Yet there's no direct link. How are the leaders proposing to solve that?
Well, that's right, Shane. And in fact, Prime Minister Motley described it as a shame. She said Barbados and Ghana are perfect hubs for access into their respective regions. President Addo explained that Ghana recently signed an air services agreement with Guyana, on which the relationship with Barbados will be built. He says there's already a high level of interest among Ghanaians who want to travel to the Caribbean.
When they look at how the difficulties there are in getting here, they're daunted. I mean, their spirits are depressed. You have to go to London, and go to Miami, New York. I mean, by the time you're over, you're what, 18, 20 hours in the air, waiting at airports, etc. It's not exactly the way you want to go on a holiday. So, yes, a great deal of interest. And they're very much aware that over here they have plenty of people who are like them.
Now, while Ghana's petroleum products are among their main foreign exchange earners, President Addo says they're committed to becoming renewable energy efficient by 2030.
As we speak, the generation mix in our country, we're a nation of some 30 million people, is 1%. Emanates from solar and renewable energy. We made a commitment to move that figure to 10% by the end of next year. It's an ambitious target, but we're working very hard at making sure that we realize one of the symbolic acts will be that the presidency, the house where I am, the Jubilee House, by the end of this year will be powered entirely by solar energy.
The Ghanaian president arrived this morning just after 10 to a warm Barbadian welcome at the Grantley Adams International Airport. Our Sharika Griffith was there and filed this report.
The president's plane arrived at the Grantley Adams International Airport about 10:30 this morning, where he and his delegation received a red carpet welcome. He was greeted by Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley, Deputy Commissioner of Police Erwin Boyce, and Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defence Force, Colonel Glenn Granham. Also on hand for the reception were Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Dr. Jerome Walcott and Minister of Innovation, Science and Smart Technology, Senator Kay McConney. The morning's festivities included a 21-gun salute. Before President Akufo-Addo, accompanied by Prime Minister Motley, inspected the troops assembled on the tarmac. The Barbados Defence Force and Cadet Corps Mass Band then performed the Ghanaian national anthem before the dignitaries proceeded indoors for a private meeting in the airport's Grace Adams suite. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Thank you, Sharika. The revamped BTMI Bridgetown by Night Heritage Walk promises to be the best one yet. Producer Alison Seeley-Smith says the walk, which comes off this Sunday, will be unlike any of the previous editions.
We've got brand new stories, brand new actors, brand new script, brand new ideas. Everything about this is new. So we're asking people to come out, join us, meet us in Cavens Lane. That's where you have to gather. You have your choice of tours that you can come on. First one's at 5:30, second one is at 6:15, third one is at 7 o'clock. You join us, you come down Cavens Lane there when you turn down by Massey, and you go down to the wharf side of Cavens Lane. That's where we'll be doing the registering, so show up and have a great time.
Ms. Seeley-Smith says people taking the tour will find out that Bridgetown is truly one of the most fascinating capital cities on the planet.
When you have absolutely nothing, when you're talking about people like London born into slavery, ended up owning properties in Bridgetown, ended up owning plantations. You're talking about Gwen Workman and what she did in terms of feeding Barbados. You're talking about Darnley Greenwich, who come from Nelson Street and owned a pepper pot. You should feel good, you should feel proud, and you should understand better the shoulders on which we stand as proud Barbadians, and start getting rid of this idea that we're risk averse.
Local property owners have until the end of August this year to benefit from a discount on their land tax bills for the period 2019 to 2020. This is according to Manager for Communications and Public Relations at the Barbados Revenue Authority, Carolyn Williams-Gale.
In accordance with the budgetary proposals 2019, there will be a single discount of 5% for this year on land tax bills, and that is once all accounts are paid in full on or before August 31st. Bill payments can be made at our locations in the Treasury Building, Weymouth Corporate Center, Warren's Tower 2, Southern Plaza, or Holtown. However, the other options for paying land tax bills include the drop boxes for checks at our locations, wire transfers for those persons living overseas, and paying online using Easy Pay on the government portal. And the Easy Pay option requires persons to register for this service, and they can find a direct link to registration on our website, www.bra.gov.bb.
The Ministry of Transport, Works and Maintenance is considering shifting a number of its functions to nighttime. Minister Dr. William Duguid says one of the primary reasons for doing this would be alleviating inconvenience caused to the public. The minister made the revelation as he provided an update on the recently instituted nighttime road painting program.
We found that productivity is almost double by virtue of painting the roads at night, and the inconvenience to the public of daytime traffic, which has been a problem for years. When you're painting the road and the traffic, it backs up the traffic for several kilometers from time to time whenever the road painting is being done in the daytime. So we've started the nighttime road painting, and we're very, very happy with the results, and we look forward to adding other services to being done at night.
There's been another fatal shooting in less than 24 hours, this time at 2nd Avenue Vauxhall Christchurch today. 38-year-old Orlando Ford was reportedly shot multiple times near his home around 2 this afternoon. He was taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital by a private vehicle where he was pronounced dead. It brings to 29 the number of murders so far this year. Last night around 9, a man who is yet to be named was also shot and killed at Jazreel Road, Ruby St. Philip. His body was found near the St. Philip District Hospital. Given the recent upsurge in shootings and violence, One Calypso tent is pressing ahead with its mission of ministering to Barbadians through song during the Cropover Festival. It is the ultimate Calypso tent, which is conceptualized by the Kingdom International Church. Although the tent will not be facing the judges, one of the members, Zimron Andrews, says it will still maintain the high standard of music.
In every song there is a message. So once persons are listening to the song, they can always find something that is beneficial. And because our music is not going to encourage persons in lewdness, slackness, or misconduct, it is beneficial for the nation and for the entire family. So it's, as I said, it's an environment for the entire family because of what is being put out.
Now listen to this. Positive bashment and power soakers along with social commentaries will be delivered in the tent. Member Petra the Big Rock Scarrett is upbeat about the season.
I've been with the tent since its inception from 2008. So this is 11 years now that I've been singing with the tent. I have a fun social commentary, and yeah, it's gonna hit down pretty hard.
Former politician, Pan-Africanist, energy advocate and medical doctor Ersin Simmons is dead. The 83-year-old of Pine Plantation Road, St. Michael, passed away on Tuesday at Bayview Hospital. He will be buried next Thursday. In 1986, Dr. Simmons captured the St. Michael's Southeast seat on a DLP ticket. After losing it in 1991, he was appointed to the Senate. Dr. Simmons retired from elective politics in 1994, but was still involved managing the DLP campaign in 2003. Police in St. Lucia are again calling for a resolution to the matter involving the extrajudicial killings by officers during 2010 and 2011. The president of the Police Welfare Association, Travis Chico, says this is impacting the morale of the force, especially the policemen implicated. We have a report from HTS News Force.
We have members who are psychologically depressed and who cannot focus. It's just that it's hard. The words in such a circumstance I might not even be able to really tell you the pain and anguish on the ground.
Prime Minister Alan Shastney says his government has given its full support to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions in order to have this matter brought to a close.
So, I've made all the resources necessary for the DPP to be able to conduct the investigation. I'm not privy to what is happening on a daily basis in regards to that. Clearly, that's within the purview of the DPP. But my understanding is that the investigation is continuing.
But the president of the Police Welfare Association says far too much time has elapsed. He says the resolution to this matter is in the interest of all involved parties.
It must be dealt with. We must tell the citizenry of this country what is the position with the main investigations that have happened, what is happening, where we at, what is the evidence, are we able to charge or not charge, what is happening.
Prime Minister Alan Chastanet, who's taken over the portfolios of Home Affairs and National Security in the absence of Senator Herman Gill Francis, says his government has given this very serious issue the sort of attention it deserves.
In Guyana, opposition leader Bart Jagdeo has dismissed a recent opinion poll showing that President David Granger has high approval ratings among party supporters. As we hear in this report from HGP-TV, Jagdeo called the coalition-sponsored poll fake, noting that the government should call elections if they are so confident.
This is a fake poll designed to help APNU. They're desperate. If they were so confident and Granger had such a high rating and they were doing so well, why not call elections?
That was leader of the opposition Bart Jagdeo commenting on the results made in a recent poll by the coalition party. It is Jagdeo's opinion that when parties have these kinds of approval ratings shown in the poll, they call elections instead of trying to avoid them. Without providing a single piece of evidence, the leader of the opposition accused the APNU-AFC party of paying for the polls and described it as a desperate move from the ruling party.
And I wouldn't put it past them to use taxpayers' money to pay for this too. But this is an APNU poll.
The findings of the poll were leaked to the government-controlled Guyana Chronicle newspaper on Thursday last. It shows current President David Granger has a high approval rating among coalition supporters at 94%, and an overall 40% of the 1,000 respondents prefer him to manage Guyana's upcoming all-wealth instead of PPP presidential candidate Irfan Ali, who amassed only 24%. Jagdeo claims that the PPP has also done some polling of their own, but are not so desperate to release them. He says in their polls, the PPP is massively in front of the APNU-AFC government.
Julie, starch, ice cream, bellyful, calabash, fire girl. Those were just some of the different types of mangoes that were on display in all their glory at the first ever Mango Festival in Tobago. TTT reports.
The Division of Food Production, Forestry and Fisheries presented the Mango Festival with a theme, Celebrate Our Local Fruits, in an effort to showcase all the benefits of the fruit.
For this exhibition, we are hoping to increase awareness as to the different types of mangoes on the island, the availability of mangoes on the island, and also to let the public know the value-added products that could be derived from mango. We hope that the usage of mango, the wastage of mango would be reduced, where people could be more aware of the value-added products that they could get from mangoes and use the mangoes on the island. So that would add to food security on the island.
The exhibition showcased over 25 varieties of mangoes, such as the popular Julie and Starch, and some little-known ones. Those attending got the opportunity to sample some delicious mangoes, as well as the products made from the fruit, such as mango ice cream, chips, and smoothies. Administrator of the division, Wendell Bernard, explained that almost every village can boast of having particular mango varieties.
King Bubba's Illuminate is just one example of what to expect this Cropover, as thousands packed the venue for the show. It featured top local and regional acts.
Something was an idea that I got, and I said to myself, this is going to be unique, this is going to be different, because I'm going to actually do a song that people could relate to when drinking alcohol, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't say fooling around. It's all about craft. It's all about using an idea that is different.
And doing things differently is what this Ghanaian artist and reigning international soca monarch is all about, especially in dance.
Versatility is something that I try to really keep within my craft, you know what I mean? And have an application, try to be like no other, but really and truly like the self, you know what I mean? Looking at Michael Jackson growing up, I realized that he had a craft that was just his own, and I wanted that, a craft that is mine.
But he's also been giving back by establishing a school for theater arts at home, among other things.
But that is coming along nicely because we just finished the studio launching the first one of the first state-of-the-art studios on the island, also a radio station, a non-profit organization, youth programs, youth projects and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Songwriting competition for the kids and stuff so they could get into the culture, you know, get into the.
Promoter King Bubba is pleased with how things have turned out since he started hosting Illuminate.
Up to today, it's still incredible. It's like a dream come true. Sometimes when I go to places and people are so excited to see me and hear my songs, I mean, I just feel great that I get to play my part in pushing the soca music.
Now, when is the last time you saw this artist on stage? Well, Contourne was among a number of local and regional acts at the first ever Wetterfet Water Party held at the BTI car park. The show also featured artist Leadpipe.
With a whole group of young people doing a big innovative something for all the young artists in Barbados and also established artists.
It also saw the return of Lil Natty and Thunder from Grenada.
One thing I like about Wetterfet, when you reach in Wetterfet, everybody's getting wet and they don't care.
All the girls in the gym right now.